The day started like any other at Border Station Zeta 9. The station's sensors hummed quietly, monitoring the empty space near the Oran Spur. This sector had been quiet for centuries. Admiral Zex Terra sipped a warm cup of glowing blue liquid as he gazed out the viewport. His scaled skin reflected the light of distant stars. The Admiral had served for over 40 years guarding this quiet corner of the galactic hegemony. Nothing interesting ever happened here. "Admiral, we have unusual readings," said Junior Officer Kilnex, her four eyes blinking rapidly as she studied the sensor display. Zex Terra sighed. "Probably another space debris cluster. Mark it and continue standard monitoring." "Sir, these readings suggest multiple large objects approaching at faster than light speeds. They'll reach our position in approximately 20 minutes. The Admiral's cup froze halfway to his mouth. FTL travel required proper transit lanes and advance notice. No one approached a border station unannounced. "Sound yellow alert. Contact Hegemony Command," ordered Zex Terra. Aboard the UES Defiant, Captain John Martinez adjusted his uniform one last time. The moment humanity had prepared for over decades was finally here. "Nervous, Captain?" asked Commander Susan Kelly, his second in command. "Wouldn't you be? We're about to change human history forever," Martins replied with a small smile. Commander Kelly nodded. "The fleet is ready. All 37 ships report green status." Martinez took a deep breath. "Signal all ships. Exit FTL in formation beta. Standard defensive screens but weapons powered down. Let's make a good first impression." In the vastness of space, reality rippled like water. 37 ships of various sizes emerged from what appeared to be tiers in the fabric of space itself. The human fleet decelerated smoothly, arranging themselves in a perfect crescent formation facing the hegemony border station. On Border Station Zeta 9, chaos erupted. "Impossible," shouted the sensor operator. "These ships appeared from nowhere. They're not using standard FTL corridors." Admiral Zex Terra stared at the view screen in shock. The alien vessels before him were sleek, showing none of the bulky drive systems used by hegemony ships. Their hulls gleamed with a material his sensors couldn't identify. "What species are they?" demanded the Admiral. The station's AI responded in its calm voice. "Unknown. Design does not match any recorded species in the hegemony database." Zex Terra felt a chill run down his spine. "Open a channel." The main view screen flickered, and a face appeared that made several junior officers gasp. The creature had flat features, small eyes, and was covered in strange colored fabric rather than protective armor. "This is Captain John Martins of the United Earth ship Defiant. We come in peace as representatives of humanity." The Admiral's four hearts seemed to stop beating at once. "Humanity? From the quarantine system?" Martinez nodded. "The same. We've been watching and learning for some time. We felt it was finally time to introduce ourselves properly." Zex Terra struggled to maintain his composure. Earth had been discovered centuries ago, but the primitive mammals there had barely discovered basic flight. The Hegemony Council had placed the system under quarantine, planning to revisit when the species either destroyed themselves or developed sufficiently to be considered for membership, in another few centuries at least. "How did you achieve FTL capability?" "Our records indicate your species was at least 200 years from such technology," said Zex Terra. Captain Martinez smiled. "We took a different approach to the physics problem. Your records were based on your understanding of science, not ours." As they spoke, the station's senior scientist rushed into the command center, waving a datapad frantically. "Admiral, these ships are generating energy readings that should be impossible. Their shield technology alone is centuries beyond what a developing species should possess." Commander Susan Kelly's voice came through the communication channel. "We're transmitting formal greeting protocols now. We request permission to send a small delegation to discuss Earth's formal introduction to the galactic community." Admiral Zex Terra's mind raced. Nothing in his training had prepared him for this. He needed to contact the Council immediately, but one thing was already clear. The galaxy had just changed forever. "Permission granted," he said finally. "And welcome to the stars, humanity." Behind him, the station's crew stared in disbelief at the human fleet that had appeared from nowhere, bringing with it the end of everything they thought they knew about the universe. News of the human fleet's arrival spread through the hegemony faster than light itself. Within hours, the Galactic Council chamber on the capital world of Nexus Prime was filled with angry shouting. "This is outrageous." Grand Counselor Vexpax slammed his six-fingered hand on the table, his green skin darkened with emotion. These mammals were using combustion engines just a century ago. How dare they appear at our borders with an armed fleet? The circular chamber held representatives from all 17 species of the hegemony. Many nodded in agreement with Vexpax. Science Director Krollner, a tall, thin being with silver skin, raised her hand for quiet. "The humans have not shown any aggression. Their weapon systems remain powered down." "A trick, obviously," Vexpax sneered. "I propose we send our battle fleet to push them back to their system where they belong." On the viewing screen, live images showed the human ships maintaining their position near border station Zeta 9. Their sleek design looked strangely beautiful against the backdrop of stars. Meanwhile, aboard the UES Defiant, Ambassador Nancy Rodriguez checked her appearance one last time. The small diplomatic shuttle was ready to take her and her team to the hegemony station. "Remember," she told Diplomatic Officer Alan Wright, "we are representing all of humanity today. This first impression will shape our relationship with the galaxy for generations." Wright nodded, adjusting the case of gifts they had brought. "Do you think they'll accept us, Ambassador?" Rodriguez smiled. "They don't have much choice. We're here now." The shuttle departed the Defiance Bay, gliding smoothly toward the alien station. Inside the shuttle, 6 human diplomats waited nervously. Back in the main fleet, Vice Admiral Peter Collins watched the shuttle's progress carefully. "Maintain defensive screens at maximum," he ordered. "If they so much as point a weapon at our people, I want to be ready." "Sir," his tactical officer replied. "Our sensors show the station is scanning our ships very aggressively. They seem particularly interested in our shield technology." Collins nodded. "Let them look. They won't understand what they're seeing anyway." On border station Zeta 9, Admiral Zex Terra prepared to receive the human delegation. He had orders from the Council. Be polite, but reveal nothing important. Learn everything possible about these unexpected visitors. "Sir," said his intelligence officer, "we've been searching the archives. A human craft crashed on their planet in a place called Nevada almost exactly 100 years ago. The Council decided it wasn't worth retrieving as the technology was outdated." Sextera's eyes widened. "Are you saying they reverse-engineered our technology from that crash?" "It appears so, sir, but they've improved upon it in ways our scientists thought impossible." The Admiral felt a chill. "So they're not just quick learners. They're innovators." The human shuttle docked with perfect precision. The station's crew gathered to witness the historic moment as the airlock cycled open. Ambassador Rodriguez stepped through first, smiling warmly. "On behalf of the United Earth Government and all humanity, I bring greetings of peace and friendship," she said in perfect hegemony standard language. Admiral Zex Terra blinked in surprise. "Their translator technology must be exceptional." "Welcome aboard Station Zeta 9, he replied formally. "The hegemony acknowledges your arrival." Rodriguez nodded to Wright, who stepped forward with a wooden box. "A gift from Earth," the ambassador explained. "A sample of our art, music, literature, and scientific knowledge." Zex Terra accepted the box cautiously. Inside was a crystal data storage device, beautifully carved from a single piece of what appeared to be diamond. "You honor us," the Admiral said, though his mind raced with questions. Diamond computing was theoretical in hegemony science, yet these humans had mastered it. "We request formal recognition as a spacefaring civilization and opening of diplomatic relations," Rodriguez continued. her voice pleasant but firm. "We believe we have much to offer each other." In the council chamber on Nexus Prime, the debate continued to rage. The emergency session had lasted for hours with no resolution. The humans claimed they come in peace. Science Director Krellnir argued. "We should give them a chance." Grand Counselor Vexpack scoffed. "No species advances this quickly naturally. There must be something dangerous about them. I demand we contain this threat before it spreads." As the council bickered, the first human diplomats were setting foot on a hegemony station, changing the course of galactic history forever. Neither side yet realized just how much the balance of power had already shifted. 3 days after the first meeting, the human delegation had settled into temporary quarters aboard Harmony Point, the hegemony's diplomatic station. The circular room assigned to them featured strange curved furniture and lighting that shifted colors every few hours. Cultural attaché Lisa Brown arranged items on a large table in the station's main gathering hall. She placed musical instruments, art pieces, and food samples from Earth with care. "Do you think they'll understand our music?" asked her assistant. Lisa smiled. "That's the wonderful thing about cultural exchange. Even if they don't understand it, they'll feel something." Aliens of various shapes and sizes began entering the hall. Some floated, others crawled, and a few walked on legs similar to humans. All showed signs of curiosity, extra eyes widening, tentacles waving, or breathing holes fluttering. "Welcome," Lisa said warmly. "Today we share with you the cultural heritage of Earth." She started by playing a violin. The sweet notes filled the room, causing several aliens to freeze in place. One blue-skinned being with 4 ears began to tremble. "Are you well?" Lisa asked with concern. "This sensation," the alien whispered, "we have no word for it. Sound that creates feelings. It's unknown to us." Lisa was surprised. "You don't have music." "Several species use sound for communication only," explained a tall, insect-like diplomat. "This purposeful arrangement of sound for emotional response is fascinating." Next, Lisa invited them to try Earth foods. The station's scientists had confirmed these were safe for most species to sample. The aliens approached cautiously. Around, purple being tasted chocolate and immediately began changing colors rapidly. "Is that a good sign?" Lisa whispered to her assistant. "I think so," he replied. According to the briefing, that species shows pleasure through color pulsing. In another section of the station, Lieutenant Daniel Taylor sat with 3 hegemony linguists. Each alien held a device similar to a tablet. "Remarkable," said the chief linguist, a thin being with skin like tree bark. "You've learned the basics of 3 hegemony languages in just 2 days." Daniel smiled. "Languages have always been easy for me. The structure of your Zentari dialect is similar to some Earth languages." The linguists exchanged worried glances. Their reports had estimated it would take humans years to grasp even one alien language. "Our translation devices make communication possible," one said carefully. "Why expend effort learning our languages directly?" "To understand a people, you must understand how they speak," Daniel replied. "Every language shows how its speakers see the world." Meanwhile, aboard the human ships, trouble was brewing. Security Chief Paul Wilson received an alert on his tablet. "Captain, we've detected unauthorized access attempts to our computer systems," he reported to Captain Martinez. 3 separate intrusion patterns, all originating from the hegemony station. Martinez frowned. "Can you track the source?" "Already done. Our AI security system, designed by Dr. Olivia Martin, trapped the intruders in a fake database. They think they're seeing our engine schematics, but it's all decoy information." "Interesting." Martinez tapped his fingers on the arm of his chair. "They preach peace while trying to steal our technology. Let's not confront them yet. Let's see how far they go." Back on Harmony Point, Ambassador Rodriguez met with the station commander, a tall being with golden scales. "Your cultural presentation is most impressive," the commander said. "But I must ask about something troubling. Our sensors detect artificial intelligence operating on your vessels. Is this true? Rodriguez nodded. Yes. AI systems are integral to our technology. Is there a problem? The commander's scales flattened against his head, a sign of distress. The hegemony has strict laws against artificial intelligence. We discovered long ago the dangers it poses. Our A's have been our partners for generations, Rodriguez explained. They helped us reach the stars. Partners. The commander seemed shocked. You treat machines as equals. We treat all intelligent beings with respect, Rodriguez replied simply. As the cultural exchange continued on the surface, beneath it tensions grew. The humans had revealed capabilities that frightened the hegemony, adaptability, innovation, and technological advancement at a pace that defied explanation. In the kitchen area, Chef Greg Miller taught alien diplomats how to make simple Earth dishes. They were fascinated by cooking, another concept many species had never developed, as they consumed nutrients in more basic ways. You apply heat to change the chemical structure of food purely for sensory pleasure, asked one diplomat. Greg laughed. Cooking is art you can eat. It's one of humanity's oldest traditions. General Trascor stood with his forearms crossed tightly across his armored chest. As a member of the Hegemony War Council, he had seen many species rise and fall. These humans worried him. Begin the deep scan, he ordered. His technicians activated powerful scanners aimed at the human fleet. Sir, they will detect this level of scanning, his second-in-command warned. Let them, Trascor replied. I need to know what we're facing. Aboard the UES Defiant, alarms sounded. Fleet Commander Eric Johnson frowned at the display showing intense scanning beams directed at their ships. They're not being subtle, are they? He remarked. His tactical officer shook her head. No, sir. They're using military-grade scanners. Johnson fought for a moment. Let them see our mid-level systems. Keep the advanced weapons shielded. Sir, shouldn't we block all scans? No, Johnson smiled. Let's show them enough to make them nervous, but not enough to cause panic. Back in the Hegemony war room, data began flowing onto screens. General Trascor's yellow eyes widened as he read the results. This can't be correct, he growled. Run the scans again. His technician looked nervous. We've run it 3 times, sir. The humans have weapons technology that exceeds our current defensive capabilities by at least 2 generations. The general slammed his fist on the console. How is this possible? They were throwing spears at each other a few thousand years ago. There's more, sir, the technician continued. Their power generation systems operate on principles our scientists don't fully understand, and their hulls contain an alloy we cannot identify. General Trascor stared at the human fleet on the main view screen. They looked so unassuming, yet contained technology that could threaten the hegemony's military dominance. We need to see them in action, he decided. Send a formal request for a joint training exercise. The next day, Major Samantha Powell stood in the training hall of Harmony Point Station. Around her gathered warriors from 5 different alien species, all watching her with curiosity and some with open doubt. Thank you for joining this friendly combat demonstration, she said. I understand your species have different fighting styles. I'd like to exchange techniques. A tall, muscular warrior with stone-like skin stepped forward. He towered over Powell by at least 3 feet. I am Kathrak of the Monterey. Our species has been warriors for 50,000 years. What could a human teach us? Powell smiled politely. Perhaps nothing. But we might learn from each other. Would you care to spar? The alien warrior laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. I do not wish to injure you, small human. Training rules, Powell explained. No serious injuries. First to yield loses. Kathrak nodded. Very well, though I will try to be gentle. General Trascor watched from the observation deck as the human female faced the massive Monterey warrior. This would be over quickly. Kathrak moved first, surprisingly fast for his size. He swung a massive fist at Powell, who simply wasn't there when it landed. She had moved aside with incredible speed. For 5 minutes, the alien warrior grew increasingly frustrated as he could not land a solid hit on the human. Powell didn't attack. She simply avoided every strike. "Stand still and fight," Kathrak finally roared. "If you insist," Powell replied calmly. What happened next stunned everyone watching. The human moved in a blur, striking key pressure points on the alien's body with precision. Within seconds, Kathrak found himself on the floor, unable to move properly. What did you do to me?" he gasped. "Temporary neural disruption," Powell explained, helping him up. "You'll feel normal in about 30 seconds. General Trazkor leaned forward in shock. She disabled a Monteri elite warrior without weapons. "Humans evolved as persistence hunters," explained the hegemony xenobiologist beside him. "They would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. Their endurance is remarkable." "So they tire out their enemies?" the general asked. "No," the scientist said grimly. "They never tire. They just keep coming." Historical records show humans would track prey for days without rest. No other known species hunts this way. On the training floor, Powell was now demonstrating human fighting techniques to the amazed alien warriors. She moved with grace and precision. "They may look physically weaker than many species," General Trazkor mused, "but their real strength lies in their adaptability and tactical thinking." He turned to his aide. "Schedule more observations of their military personnel and increase our defensive readiness, just in case." As he walked away, the general couldn't shake the feeling that the humans were still hiding their true capabilities. The question wasn't whether they could pose a threat to the hegemony. The grand hall of the Hegemony Scientific Consortium was filled to capacity. Scientists from 17 alien species had gathered to hear the humans present their discoveries. Many came out of skepticism, others out of curiosity. Dr. Richard Hayes stood calmly at the center of the room. Behind him, a holographic display showed complex equations. At age 45, Hayes was one of Earth's leading quantum physicists. "Thank you for allowing us to share our understanding of quantum mechanics," he began. "We're eager to compare notes with your scientists." Chief Scientist Lirvex, a tall blue-skinned being with 6 eyes arranged in a circle on his face, nodded slightly. "Please proceed, though I must note that the hegemony has studied quantum physics for 12,000 years. We have likely covered any ground your species has discovered." Hayes smiled politely. "Of course. Let me start with our basic understanding." As Hayes began explaining human theories of quantum entanglement, murmurs spread through the alien audience. Several scientists pulled out devices to check his equations. "This cannot be correct," one scientist called out. "Your approach contradicts the third law of quantum binding." "Yes," Hayes replied calmly. "We found that law to be incomplete. Our experiments showed that particles can maintain coherence across greater distances than your models predict." The room erupted in debate. Lirvex raised all 4 of his hands for silence. "What you suggest would mean our understanding of subspace communication is flawed," he said. "Not flawed," Hayes corrected gently. "Just limited. We took a different path in our research." In another section of the station, Chief Engineer Megan Clark guided a group of alien engineers through a holographic display of human propulsion systems. "You're saying you don't use quantum folding for FTL travel?" asked an engineer with metallic skin. "How do you prevent molecular disruption during transition?" Clark smiled. "We don't use folding at all. Our drives create a bubble of modified spacetime around the ship. The ship itself never exceeds light speed. Space moves around us." "Impossible," the engineer protested. "The energy requirements would be much lower than you'd expect," Clark finished. "We discovered a resonance effect that amplifies the field with minimal energy input." The aliens exchanged troubled looks. Their civilization had abandoned this approach centuries ago, believing it to be a dead end. Across the station, Dr. William Foster was explaining human problem-solving techniques to a group of alien researchers. "We call it thinking outside the box," he explained. "When faced with a problem, we often try approaches that seem illogical at first. But why waste time on improbable solutions?" asked a small, furry alien with large eyes. "Our research follows clear, logical pathways to maximize efficiency. Sometimes the most efficient path isn't visible until you try something unexpected," Foster replied. "Some of our greatest discoveries came from accidents or mistakes." The alien scientists looked troubled by this. Their research methods were highly structured, with little room for random exploration. In the main conference room, Science Director Krellner met with the human delegation leaders. "Your scientific achievements are unexpected," she admitted. "Our records suggested your species would take centuries to reach this level of understanding." Ambassador Rodriguez nodded. "Humans tend to advance quickly when motivated." "There is one more matter," Krellner said carefully. "Our surveillance indicates you have begun altering the environments of other planets in your system, Mars and Venus." "Yes," Dr. Hayes confirmed. "Basic terraforming. Mars already has small oceans forming. Venus's atmosphere is being processed to reduce surface temperatures." The alien scientists in the room froze. One dropped a datapad. "But," Krellner struggled to find words. "Planetary engineering on that scale takes millennia of careful work. Our most advanced terraforming projects take 15 generations to complete. We're hoping to have Mars habitable within 50 years," Hayes said. "Venus will take longer, perhaps a century." The science director stared at the humans with new understanding. Their rapid technological development wasn't just unusual, it was unprecedented in galactic history. "I believe we have much to learn from each other," she said finally. "That's why we're here," Rodriguez replied with a smile. "To share knowledge and build a better future together." As the meeting ended, Krellner watched the humans leave. For the first time in her 300-year life, she felt something unfamiliar. The hegemony, ancient and powerful, might not be the most advanced civilization in the galaxy for much longer. The Hegemony Council chamber had not seen such chaos in over 2,000 years. Representatives from all 17 member species shouted over each other. Some pounded on tables, others flashed warning colors, and a few released stress pheromones that made the air thick and unpleasant. Grand Counselor Vexpax struggled to maintain order, one at a time. "We must approach this situation with calm." "Calm." The representative from the Zorani Collective buzzed angrily, his insect-like mandibles clicking. "These humans have upended centuries of established hierarchy in days. The lesser worlds are already talking about human alliance possibilities." This was true. Since the humans' arrival, 5 smaller species that had long been treated as second-class members were suddenly questioning hegemony leadership. Intelligence Director Kyle Anderson stood before the Human Relations Committee, a hastily formed group trying to understand Earth's sudden emergence. "Director Anderson, our intelligence suggests Earth has only one major settlement beyond your home system, a research base on Proxima Centauri V. Is this correct?" asked the committee head. Anderson kept his face neutral. "That information is outdated. Would you care to update us?" The alien prompted. "Earth currently maintains 17 colonies across 12 star systems," Anderson said calmly. The committee members looked at each other in shock. "That's impossible," one said. "Our monitoring stations would have detected such expansion." Anderson smiled slightly. "Your monitoring relies on detecting our FTL signatures. Since we use a different method of faster-than-light travel, we don't leave the same traces your systems are designed to detect." In another part of the station, Ambassador Catherine Wilson met with the Membership Affairs Council. These officials normally processed new species into the hegemony's political structure. "As you can see," explained a tall bird-like alien, "all new species undergo a probationary period of at least 50 years before gaining voting rights in the council." Wilson reviewed the document and handed it back. "I'm afraid this is unacceptable. Earth expects immediate recognition as a full member with equal standing." The aliens seemed shocked. "That is not how things are done," the bird-like official said firmly. "Every species follows the same path. But not every species arrives with the same level of development," Wilson countered. "Your own assessments confirm our technology matches or exceeds current hegemony standards in several areas." "Protocols exist for a reason," insisted another official. Wilson's expression remained pleasant but firm. "Perhaps it's time for new protocols." Meanwhile, on the trade deck of Harmony Point Station, finance advisor Laura Mitchell sat across from three representatives from star systems outside hegemony control. These independent worlds had sent delegates as soon as they heard about the humans. "Our worlds would be very interested in trade agreements," said one delegate, a small green being with large compound eyes. "The hegemony's trade terms heavily favor their major species." Mitchell nodded. "Earth believes in fair exchange that benefits all parties. We've brought sample trade proposals." She handed over data tablets. The delegates reviewed them with growing excitement. "These terms are much more favorable than anything the hegemony has offered," one said. "Especially your technology sharing provisions." "We believe advancement should lift all parties," Mitchell explained. "Artificial scarcity helps no one." Word of these meetings reached Economic Minister Praz Dole within hours. The minister, a member of the dominant Quolari species, immediately called an emergency session. "These humans are undermining our entire economic structure," he declared. "They've already signed preliminary agreements with the freeholds of Sector 9. In the private chambers of the Hegemony Inner Council, the 5 most powerful members met in secret. "We must face reality," said the eldest member, her translucent skin showing her glowing organs beneath. "These humans didn't come to join our civilization. They came to change it, or replace it," added another grimly. A communication officer interrupted the meeting. "Urgent news. 3 minor member species, the Vril, the Tamarans, and the Nesoi, have formally requested human protection status." The council members stared in disbelief. These 3 species had been under hegemony control for thousands of years. Now they were seeking alliance with the newcomers. "This cannot stand," declared the council leader. "We must reassert our authority." "With what leverage?" asked the science representative. "Military action would be disastrous according to our own assessments. Economic sanctions would harm us more than them with these new trade agreements forming." #Galactic Empire in disbelief as human fleet arrives. #Part 7. New Galactic Order. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Hegemony had never held so many important figures at once. All 17 council members sat in the front row. Behind them were military leaders, scientists, diplomats, and representatives from every world in hegemony space. After days of heated debate, the vote was finally happening. Would the humans be recognized as equals, or would the hegemony maintain its traditional approach? Grand Councilor Vex Pax looked grim as the results appeared on the large display. The vote was 9-8 in favor of recognizing humanity as a full member with equal rights. No probationary period. "The motion passes," he announced, his voice flat. "The United Earth Government is hereby recognized as a sovereign interstellar nation with full diplomatic rights." Ambassador Rodriguez accepted the formal recognition with a gracious nod. "Earth thanks you for this wisdom. We look forward to a productive relationship." As the ceremony concluded, Admiral George Phillips entered the hall. Heads turned as the human military leader approached the podium. With formal recognition established, Phillips began, "I am authorized to share the full extent of human space." The display behind him changed to show a star map. Gasps filled the room as dozens of points of light illuminated, showing human-controlled systems spreading across 3 sectors. "While we waited for your decision," Phillips continued calmly, 5 additional human fleets established presence in these regions. He pointed to strategic locations throughout the map. "We now maintain peaceful observation posts near all major trade routes and jump points." Science Director Krellner leaned toward General Traskor. "They've surrounded our core systems," she whispered. "When did they do this?" "They must have had ships waiting just outside our sensor range," the general replied. "They moved them into position while we debated." The display changed again, showing a proposed new structure for galactic governance. Phillips explained, "Earth suggests a more equitable system of representation based on population and contribution rather than technological seniority." Several hegemony officials looked outraged at this proposal. A representative from one of the dominant species stood up. "This is preposterous. The hegemony has maintained order for 12,000 years. Who are you to suggest changes to our system?" Phillips remained calm. "We are simply offering an alternative, one that might better serve all species, not just the founding members." As tensions rose in the hall, Secretary of Defense Nathan Cooper took the stage. He activated a small device, and a hologram appeared showing an unfamiliar weapon. "This is a neural disruptor," Cooper explained. "It can disable energy systems without causing permanent damage. Please observe." On the display, the weapon fired at a target ship. Instantly, all systems on the vessel went dark. The ship floated harmlessly, completely disabled. "This technology can neutralize an entire battle fleet without destroying it," Cooper continued. "We share this demonstration not as a threat, but as evidence that military conflict would serve no one's interests." The room fell silent. The implication was clear. The humans could disable hegemony defenses without firing a shot. After a tense moment, Vexpax spoke. "The Council will consider your proposals for restructuring." "Excellent," Cooper replied with a smile. "We look forward to the discussions." As the human delegation prepared to return to their ships, Chief Diplomat Ryan Bennett approached the Hegemony Council with a small ornate box. "A final gift," he said, presenting it formally. "A complete historical database of Earth's past." Vexpax accepted it cautiously. "For what purpose?" "To help you understand us better," Bennett explained. "Our history contains great violence and destruction. We fought countless wars among ourselves before finding unity. We nearly destroyed our own planet several times." The counselor looked confused. "You share your failures." "We share our journey," Bennett corrected. "Earth united not because we are perfect, but because we learned from our mistakes. Perhaps the galaxy can do the same." As the human delegation departed, they left behind a message that appeared on all hegemony displays. "We come in peace, but we come prepared for all possibilities." Aboard the UES Defiant, Captain Martinez watched as the first human embassy on Harmony Point was established. Ambassador Rodriguez stood beside him. "Do you think they understand what's happening?" she asked quietly. Martinez nodded. "I think they're beginning to. The galaxy isn't changing because we conquered it. It's changing because we offered an alternative." The captain looked out at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but now connected by human